Dear student, in last presentation we already discussed about the toxicology and the concept of toxicology. Today we will going to discuss about general principles of management of poisoning. Upon completion of this presentation, the student should be able to understand the concept of poisons, types of poisoning, general principle of treatment of poisoning. First of all, we discuss in detail about what is poison and poisoning. Poison means it is any substance which is harmful for our body. A poison is defined as any substance which is available in solid form, liquid form or gaseous form when administered in living body through any routes, inhalation, injections or by surface contact or surface absorption will produces ill health or death or death by its action, which is due to its physical, chemical or physiological property. Then poison is any substance that is harmful for body, that is toxic for our body, which is fatal for our body. It shows severe adverse effect. It shows ill health. Then what is poisoning? The poisoning is a condition or a process in which an organism becomes chemically harmed severely by a toxic substance or venom of an animal. Poisoning means what? If any poisonous substances when they enter or it may be administered accidentally or unintentionally or it may be intentionally, if they have ability to cause an adverse effect, it shows toxic effect or harmful effect in our body, then it is called as poisoning. Then types of poisoning. There are two types of poisoning: acute poisoning and chronic poisoning. So acute poisoning when following ingestion of medication both intentionally or unintentionally is a frequent and more or less severe. Means if you are taking a poisons or it may be administered accidentally or unintentionally and which is for a short duration, it means from a one or two dose is required to show a harmful effect. Chronic poisoning is a long term, repeated, or continuous exposure to a poison where symptoms do not occur immediately or after each exposure. The patient gradually becomes ill or becomes ill after a long latent periods. Intentional and accidental poisoning are major medical problems. Every natural or synthetic chemical can cause injury if the dose is high enough. High enough. Then poisoning, it may be homicidal, it may be suicidal, or it may be the accidental. The homicidal poisoning means the poison which is administered in a single dose or in a multiple dose with the intention of the killing others, means murdering of other persons. Example of homicidal poisoning drugs includes or substance includes arsenic, aconite, digitalis, abrus precordius, strychnus noxomica. While suicidal purpose, the poison or suicide is an act of intentionally causing one's own death. Generally, the opium, barbiturate, organophosphorus compound, carbolic acids, and copper sulfate, if they are taken or are taken in overdosage, then it shows toxic or fatal, or it may shows death of the persons. Accidental. Accidental or unintentional ingestions of poisons means if you are taking any medication for the purpose of the therapeutic uses, so by mistake or accidentally if such medication which is administered in high doses, it shows a toxic effect. Such type of the poisoning or such type of the drug like aspirin, organophosphorus compound, copper sulfate, snake bite, ergot, carbon monoxides, carbon dioxides, and hydrogen sulfides. So these are the three types of the poisoning: homicidal, suicidal, accidental. In simply, homicidal means killing of other, suicidal means uh, intentionally taking a high dose of the medications for to end our self life. Accidental means unintentional administration of the certain drugs in overdosage. Then the general principle of poisoning management. It includes, first of all, the stabilization of the patient is essential factor. So stabilizations and evolutions, thereby gut decontaminations for decreases their absorptions. Then antidote administrations by increases the elimination of poisons, nursing cares, and psychiatric cares. So these are the various points which will be included in the general management of poisoning. We will discuss in detail about each point. Stabilization and evolution. Stabilization of the patient is the first priority in managing toxic ingestions and is performed simultaneously with the initial physical assessment to evaluate the extent of poison and the presence of concurrent concurrent conditions. So these are the first step in the management of poisoning. We have to assess the physical state of the patient, means the patient's heart rate, the patient is in conscious state or it may be in the unconscious state, or the presence of the coma, injury or external injury, internal injury, that will be assessed physically. Next, then this should be comprehensive and includes an accurate history wherever possible for initial evaluation and management of poisonous patient. In that, the medical history is important thing for to treat the patients. Means if you know the history, on the basis of the history we can conclude that the amount of the poison they are administered or they are taken by that patients. We know the type of poisons, so as to it will be helpful for the treat easily. Treatment should address the ABC. First of all, we have to check their airway passage, then breathing rate, and the blood circulations. If the patient is suffering from hypertension, or it may be suffering from hypotensions, or there is any difficulty in the breathing, or is there any obstruction in the airway, so as to we can shift the patient in on ventilators. Then treatment with naloxone decreases the time. The treatment with naloxone, dextrose, and thiamine should be considered in patient with altered mental status. The symptoms of hypoglycemia, like altered mental status, cool, clammy skin, coma, are rapidly reversed with administration of hypertonic dextrose. You just monitor the patient physically for any hypoglycemic symptoms. You just monitor the patient physically by any mental alterations. On the basis of these things, we can easily administer their drugs which can prevent the mental abnormality or the hypoglycemia. Patient with altered mental status, absent fecal neurologic signs, and low or borderline hypoglycemia, that time the blood sugar less than 80 mg per deciliter or rapid reagent testing should receive intravenous dextrose. Decontaminations. These are the second thing which should be considered during the management of the poisoning. So decontamination. The general approach to most toxic exposures involve the removal of the patient from the substance and the substance from the patients. The first of all, you just transfer the patient from the toxic area into the freshly area. In the fresh area, transfer the patient so as to we can avoid any excess amount of the toxic substance they will come in contact with the patient. Transfer the patient in ventilated areas. Then toxin outside the body must be washed away. The second thing which is most important, if the any toxic substances which are present on their skin or which are present on the body, which is washed with the tap waters. Following evolution and stabilization of the poisoned patient, attention is directed toward decontaminations, that is, decreases the absorption of ingestion poison from the gastrointestinal tract. The most important thing after the washing of the poison from the body is to decreases the absorption of the poison from the GI tract. If the poisonous substance they are taken by the orally route, the first aim is what? To take to inhibit their absorption from GI tract into the systemic circulations. For that, the three general methods of decontaminations involve removal of the toxin from the stomach via the mouth, binding of inside the gut lumen, or mechanically flushing it through the GI tract, which includes emesis, gastric lavage, catharsis, activatal charcoal administrations, whole bowel irrigation. All this process involved just decreases their absorption and increases the rate of excretion of the poison from the GI tract. First of all, we will going to discuss about the emesis. Emesis is nothing but by just administration of the certain emetic agent, they induces the nausea and vomiting. If the toxic substance which are present in the GI tract and the patient is in conscious stage, you just administer the emetic like ipecac, syrup of ipecac, ipecacuanha, or warm water, or it may be the sodium chlorides, salt solution, or mustard powders. So all these act as a emetics. They stimulate the CTZ center and induces the nausea and vomiting. But most important thing, while administering the emetics, there are the certain contraindications where it is not easy to administer the emetics, like very young and very old patients. Means in pediatric patient as well as in geriatric patients, try to avoid the MSS. Pregnancy. If the patient is in pregnant state, that time avoid the emetic, there may be chances of the abortions. Heart disease, ingestion of cardiotoxic poisons. If the patient has taken the drugs and which are cardiotoxic or they have ability to show toxic effect on the heart, such type of the poison is taken by any patients, or it may be administered in overdoses in any patient, that time avoid the emesis. Then bleeding disorders, time lapse of more than 6 to 8 hours. If the poison they are taken before 6 to 8 hours, there will be the gap in between the 6 and 8 hours from the administration of poison, that time avoid the emesis. If the patient suffering from the convulsions, corrosives, or coma, or it may be the emetic poison, that time the emesis should be avoided. After the emesis, then second thing for to remove the poison from the GI tract is an gastric lavage. The gastric lavage involves placing a tube through the mouth, it may be orogastric, or through the nose, nasogastric, into the stomach. Then toxicants are removed by flushing saline solution into the stomach, followed by suction of gastric contents. So in this procedure, you just insert the polythene pipes or polythene tubes through the nose or through the mouth up to the GI tract, and just push the water inside the stomach and suck the water which are present in the stomach. Generally, the solution which are used for gastric lavage are warm water, saline solution, oxidizing solution like potassium permanganate, panic acids, iodinated waters, sodium thiosulfate, then castor oils in warm water, or calcium gluconate like oxalic acids. All these are the gastric fluid they are used for gastric lavage. The next thing is cathartic. The cathartic is these are the substance they act on the small intestine. They increases the peristaltic movement of the small intestine, thereby increases the rate of excretion of the poison from the small intestines in the feces. It accelerates the deification process by usually softening the faces. Drugs like magnesium citrate, magnesium sulfate, sodium sulfate, all these act as cathartics. The cathartic is contraindicated in children due to risk of fluid and electrolyte imbalance. Then next thing is just add activated charcoal to manage a poisoning or overdose. When used along with the treatment, activated charcoal may be effective for an acute poisoning. If we add the activated charcoal with the cathartics, then it shows the synergistic effect. How? The activated charcoal, they just absorb the substance on their surface area, and cathartic, they just remove the substance from the GI tracts. But it is not useful in some cases, including poisoning from cyanide, lithium, alcohol, iron tablet, strong acid, or bases. The next thing for to just remove the poison from the GI tract is an whole bowl irrigations. Whole bowl irrigation is the installation of large volumes of polyethylene glycol in an osmotically balanced electrolyte solution that causes neither fluid nor electrolyte ships. This technique is accomplished in adult by the installation of 2 liter per hour polyethylene glycol solution either by mouth or through the nasogastric tubes. In children, the volume administered is 50 to 250 ml per kg per hour, as much polyethylene glycol solutions as can be tolerated. The end point is clear: rectal effluent. When done properly, this technique produces a rapid catharsis by mechanically forcing ingested substances through the bowel at a rapid rate. Then third important thing in poisoning is what? Just antidote administrations. The antidotes are a substance which counteract the effect of poisons. So there are various types of the antidotes which are used to treat the poisonings. First of all, we will going to discuss about mechanical or physical antidote. So mechanical or physical antidote just act as adsorbent like charcoals, demulcent like egg albumin, starch or milk, diluent like water or milk, bulky fluid like boiled rice or vegetables. So adsorbent like charcoal, how they act? They act by their physical property. Means this antidote show the opposite action than that of the poison by adsorbing their material on their surface area, thereby decreases their absorption in the systemic circulation, while egg albumin just form the coating on the mucous membrane, thereby prevent their absorption in the systemic circulation. The second antidote is a chemical antidote. So the chemical antidote means these are the antidotes, they have ability to just neutralize the acids. They show their antagonistic effect by their chemical properties. Generally, weak acid and weak alkali, common salt, egg albumin and potassium permanganate, they are act as a chemical antagonist. Next, physiological antagonist. Physiological antagonist means this class of the drugs, they show the opposite effect to that of the poison by act on the physiological system, by act on the receptors. If or most of these physiological antagonists act as an antagonist, they bind with the receptor and thereby prevent the binding of the agonist to the receptor, thereby decreases their actions, like naloxone for morphine poisoning, neostigmine for datura poisoning, barbiturate for strychnine poisoning. Next antidote is a serological antidote, in that antisenic venom serum for snake bites poisoning. If it is not easy to understand the what type of the poisoning, then there will be a common antidote. That common antidote is called as universal antidote. So universal antidote, it is a combination of physical and chemical antidotes. When the exact nature of the poison is not known, the universal antidote is used, which acts against a wide range of poisons. So it is a combination of activated charcoal, two parts. The mechanism of this activated charcoal, as we know, it is an adsorbent agent. while magnesium oxide 1 part neutralizing agent, tannic acid 1 part it act as a precipitating agents. So after the administration of antidote, the next important things for to treat the poison is just elimination of the poison from the systemic circulations. Means you just increases the rate of excretions by increasing the rate of metabolism or by increasing the rate of excretion through the kidney by administering the various drugs. They act as a enzyme inducer or it may act as a diuretics. If the poisoning is an acidic substances, that time the doctor always prescribe alkalinizers. These alkalinizers they increases the rate of excretion of acidic substances by increasing the urine pH, because acidic drugs they are ionized in alkaline pH, and if they are ionized in alkaline pH means decreases their rate of reabsorption and increases the rate of excretions. Same thing with the alkali poisoning, that time just doctor will going to prescribe or administer the acidifiers. Then forced diuresis. Diuresis, as we know that these are the agent of substances, they increase the rate of excretions. They increase the rate of excretion of the poisonic substances. They increase the rate of urine formations like forced diuretics, loop diuretics. They are generally prescribed for to increase the rate of excretions. After elimination of poisonings, the dialysis. The dialysis is a process of removing excess water, solute and toxic from the blood in a people whose kidney can no longer perform these functions naturally. So it may be the peritoneal dialysis, it may be the hemodialysis, or it may be the hemoperfusions. The hemoperfusion, which is also used for decontaminations of a patient systemic circulations, involves placing a filter filled with activated charcoal into the circuit of the hemodialysis machines, and all these procedures just involve for what, just the removing of the poison from the systemic circulations. After the dialysis, then symptomatic and nursing cares. Means symptomatic treatment means what? The treatment of the patient on the basis of their symptom. If the patient is suffering from the severe nausea vomiting, that time you just add the antiemetics. If the patient is suffering from the severe pain, then analgesic. If the patient have the convulsion, then anticonvulsant drugs. It means on the basis of the symptoms, the doctor should prescribe the medications. That type of treatment is called as symptomatic treatment. And nursing cares, it includes the promotion of health, prevention of illness, and the care of ill, disabled, and dying peoples. And the last factor for the treat the patient is psychiatric care. You should prepare the patient mentally strong by psychiatric cares. It includes medical evaluations, care and treatment of psychiatric professional for a variety of mental diseases. With this, I conclude my today's presentations. So it is very important for to treat the poisons. Okay, thank you very much for your patience for listening.